Max loved cookies. His mom made the best cookies in the world. She baked chocolate chip cookies every Friday. The whole house smelled sweet and delicious. Max always looked forward to eating them after school, but recently something strange happened. The cookies started disappearing. One Friday afternoon, Max came home from school and found the cookie jar empty. He was sure his mom had baked a fresh batch that morning. "Mom, where are the cookies?" Max asked. His mom looked puzzled. "I baked them this morning. I put them in the jar. Are you sure it's empty?" Max nodded. "Yes, there are no cookies at all." Max's dog, Sparky, wagged his tail and barked. Sparky loved cookies too. Max looked at Sparky and said, "We need to find out who is taking our cookies." That evening, Max and Sparky made a plan. They would stay up late and catch the cookie thief. Max set a plate of cookies on the kitchen table and hid behind the sofa with Sparky. They waited quietly, watching the kitchen. At first, nothing happened. The house was silent. Max started to feel sleepy. Just when he was about to give up, he heard a noise. It was a soft, rustling sound, like someone tiptoeing. Max's eyes widened. He nudged Sparky and whispered, "Get ready." The rustling noise grew louder. Then Max saw a small shadow move across the kitchen floor. It was too dark to see clearly, but the shadow moved towards the table. Suddenly the kitchen light turned on. Max jumped up and shouted, "Aha! Got you!" To his surprise, he saw his little sister, Emma, standing by the table with a cookie in her hand. Emma looked startled. "Max, what are you doing here?" she asked. "I should ask you the same thing. Are you the one taking all the cookies?" Max asked, feeling confused. Emma nodded slowly. "I'm sorry, Max. I love Mom's cookies so much. I couldn't help it." Max sighed with relief. "Emma, you should have just asked. We can share the cookies." Emma smiled sheepishly. "Okay, I'm sorry. Can we share now?" Max laughed and hugged his sister. "Of course, but let's not eat them all tonight. We'll save some for tomorrow." Sparky barked happily, wagging his tail. Max and Emma each took a cookie and gave one to Sparky. They sat at the kitchen table, enjoying their cookies together. The next day, Max told his mom what had happened. She laughed and said, "Emma, you should have told me you wanted more cookies. I can bake extra for you." Emma smiled. "Thanks, Mom. I'll ask next time." From then on, Max, Emma and Sparky made sure to share the cookies equally. They also decided to have a special cookie baking day once a month where they could all bake and decorate cookies together. It became a fun family tradition. One Saturday, as they were baking, Max said, "Let's make extra cookies today and give some to our neighbours." Emma and Sparky agreed. They baked lots of cookies. Chocolate chip, sugar cookies, and even some peanut butter cookies for Sparky. They decorated them with colourful icing and sprinkles. After baking, they packed the cookies in small bags and went around the neighbourhood. Their neighbours were delighted. Everyone loved the cookies and appreciated the kind gesture. Max felt happy. "This is so much fun. We should do this more often." Emma nodded. "Yes, and next time, let's make different kinds of cookies." Sparky barked in agreement. He was enjoying his special peanut butter cookie. That night, as they sat down to eat the last few cookies, Max looked at his family and smiled. They had turned a little mystery into a big adventure, and now they had a new tradition that brought joy to everyone. Max hugged Sparky and said, "Good job, Detective Sparky. We solved the great cookie caper." Sparky wagged his tail and licked Max's face. Emma giggled and hugged them both. The great cookie caper became a story they loved to tell. It was a funny and cute adventure that brought their family closer together and reminded them of the joy of sharing. As weeks passed, their cookie baking days became more creative. They tried making cookies from different cultures like Italian biscotti, French macarons, and Swedish gingerbread. Each time, they learned new recipes and techniques. It became an exciting way to explore the world from their kitchen. One day, Max came up with a new idea. "Why don't we enter a baking competition?" he suggested. Emma's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea. Let's do it." They found a local baking competition happening at the community centre. The theme was family favourites. Max, Emma, and Sparky spent days perfecting their recipe. They decided to bake a special type of chocolate chip cookie with a twist, adding a secret ingredient: a hint of cinnamon. On the day of the competition, they arrived early with their cookies beautifully arranged on a platter. The judges walked around, tasting each entry. Max and Emma watched nervously as the judges sampled their cookies and whispered to each other. Finally, it was time to announce the winners. The host called out several names, and Max felt his heart race. When the host announced, "Third place goes to the Johnson family for their cinnamon chocolate chip cookies," Max and Emma jumped with joy. They went up to receive their prize, a shiny ribbon and a gift basket filled with baking supplies. Their mom was there, cheering them on. "I'm so proud of you both," she said, hugging them tightly. "You did an amazing job." Max grinned. "We couldn't have done it without Sparky," he said, patting the dog's head. Sparky barked happily, enjoying the excitement. Their success at the competition brought even more attention to their baking. Soon, friends and neighbours were asking for their recipes. Max and Emma decided to start a small baking club, inviting other kids and their families to join them in the kitchen. They met once a month, baking different treats and sharing their creations. Their baking club became very popular. They even started a blog to share their recipes and baking adventures. People from all over the world commented on their posts, asking for tips and thanking them for the delicious ideas. One day, as they were planning the next baking club meeting, Max looked at Emma and said, "Can you believe how far we've come? All because of some missing cookies." Emma laughed. "Yeah, who knew the great cookie caper would lead to all this?" Max nodded. "I'm glad it did. We've made so many new friends and learned so much." Their mom joined them, bringing a fresh batch of cookies. "I think it's time for a snack," she said, placing the plate on the table. They all grabbed a cookie, savouring the warm, sweet taste. As they enjoyed their treat, Sparky lay by their feet, content and happy. Max knew that their adventures in baking had brought them closer as a family and had created memories they would cherish forever.